Welcome back to Natural English Daily Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Natural English Daily. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Jack. And today we are talking about the World Cup. Let's get into it. Okay, quick question. Did you watch any football this summer?
Jack, I think you already know the answer.
How many matches have you watched?
Honestly, too many to count.
See, and I bet a lot of people listening are the same. The World Cup is happening right now in the US, Canada, and Mexico, and it feels like the whole world is talking about it.
It really does. Even people who don't usually like football are watching.
Exactly. So today we're talking about the World Cup. The vocabulary, the excitement, and even how to make small talk about it with people at work.
Yes, because honestly, this comes up more than you'd think. So, Jack, are you into football normally? Or is this a World Cup only thing for you?
Honestly, a bit of both. I watch football during the World Cup, and then I kind of forget about it for 4 years.
That's so common, actually.
Is it?
Yeah. The World Cup brings in people who don't usually watch. It's like an event, not just a sport.
That's a good way to put it. This year feels bigger too, because it's 3 countries hosting together.
Right. The US, Canada, and Mexico. First time it's been 3 hosts at once.
And 48 teams this time, which is more than before.
More teams, more matches, more chances for a surprise.
Oh, and speaking of surprises, later I'm going to tell you about a match I watched that completely shocked me. I actually shouted at my TV.
I remember you texting me about that.
We'll get there.
Okay. So, who are you supporting? Do you have a team?
I don't have one country, if I'm honest. I just support whoever's playing the most exciting football that day.
That's such a neutral answer.
I know. What about you?
I've been rooting for a few teams, but mostly I just love watching the games with friends. The atmosphere is the best part for me.
Yeah, that's true. Even watching at home, it feels like an event.
Have you been to a stadium before or always at home?
Always at home, actually. I'd love to go one day, though. I hear the noise is unbelievable in person.
It really is. My cousin went to a match last year and said you could barely hear the person next to you.
Wow, that's intense.
So, tell me about this match, the one that shocked you.
Okay, so I was watching a game really late at night, and the score was nothing. Nothing for ages. Nothing was happening.
Classic.
And then right at the end, one team scored. I thought, okay, that's it, game over.
But,
But the other team scored back almost immediately. It went to extra time and then penalties.
oh, penalties are so stressful to watch.
So stressful. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
That's a great phrase, actually. On the edge of my seat.
It means really nervous, right? Waiting to see what happens?
Exactly that.
Well, that's exactly how I felt. And when the last penalty went in, I actually stood up and shouted. At 1 in the morning,
Did you wake anyone up?
my neighbor messaged me the next day.
That's amazing.
Oh, actually, how do you say it when a game is really close? Like it could go either way until the very end.
You can say it went down to the wire.
Went down to the wire? I like that.
It means nobody knew who would win until the last moment.
Perfect, because that's exactly what that match was.
Can I be honest about something, though?
Go on.
I actually think penalties are a bit unfair as a way to decide a match.
Really? I don't mind them. It's exciting.
It's exciting, sure, but the whole team plays for 90 minutes, and then it comes down to one player and the goalkeeper.
I see your point, but I still love the drama of it.
Fair enough. I guess we'll just disagree on that one.
That's okay. What about the atmosphere, though? Have you watched any matches somewhere with a crowd?
Yes, I watched one at a friend's place with a big group, and honestly, the shouting and the cheering, it's half the fun.
It really is. Football brings people together like that.
Actually, since we're talking about the game itself, should we go through a few more football words? I feel like there are some really common ones we haven't used yet.
Good idea. Hit me.
Okay, what do you call it when a team doesn't let the other team score at all?
Oh, I know this one. A clean sheet, right?
Yes, good. Usually used for the goalkeeper or the defense.
Right. And what about when a player scores 3 goals in one match?
That's a hat trick.
I love that expression. It sounds so dramatic for just 3 goals.
It does. What about stoppage time? Do you know that one?
Hmm. Not really, actually. What is it?
It's the extra minutes added at the end of each half. For injuries, substitutions, that kind of thing.
Ah, got it. So that's different from extra time?
Exactly. Extra time is a whole extra period played after the match is tied. Stoppage time is just a few extra minutes added onto the normal 90.
That makes sense now. What about when a weaker team beats a much stronger one?
That's called an upset. Or people say the weaker team was the underdog.
Underdog. I really like that word.
It's a great one, and it works for other things too. Not just football. Any competition, really.
Good to know. What about when a player accidentally scores in their own goal?
Oh, that's painful. That's an own goal.
Poor guy.
And a couple more quick ones. Offside. When a player is in an illegal position when the ball is passed to them.
Right, that one always confuses me, if I'm honest.
You're not alone there.
Good.
And finally, the Golden Boot. That's the award for the player who scores the most goals in the whole tournament.
I like that one. Very fancy name for a trophy. Actually, quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation, please subscribe to Natural English Daily. It really helps us.
And share it with a friend who is learning English. Okay, back to it.
So actually, Sophie, this happens to me a lot. At work, during the World Cup, football just comes up. In the kitchen, before meetings, everywhere.
Oh, definitely. It's one of the easiest small talk topics, honestly. Even people who don't know much about it can join in.
True. But sometimes I don't know what to say, especially if I don't know the other person's team.
That's a good point. So, what do you usually say?
Something simple like, "Did you catch the game last night?"
That's perfect, actually. Really natural. Or you could say, are you following the World Cup?
Oh, that's a good one too. Safe, because it doesn't assume they support a team.
Exactly. And if they say yes, you can just ask, who are you supporting?
And if they say no, you can just say something like, "Ah, fair enough, it's everywhere at the moment though."
That's such a nice way to keep the conversation light.
What if there was a big match the day before, like a really exciting one?
Then you could say something like, did you see that match yesterday? What a game.
What a game. I use that one all the time, actually.
It works for basically anything exciting. And if a colleague's team lost, you could say, bad luck with the match, just to be kind about it.
That's a nice touch, actually. Shows you care, even if you don't follow their team.
And honestly, it's a really easy way to connect with people you don't know that well.
Definitely. Small talk topic, but it opens up real conversations.
Exactly. And later at lunch, you can keep it going with something like, are you watching the final? Or who do you think will win it all?
Good ones. Simple, but they really work.
Okay, let's go back over a few phrases and words from today.
Good idea. First one, on the edge of my seat. That's when you're really nervous watching something.
Right. And went down to the wire. When something is close until the very last moment.
We also learned some vocabulary, clean sheet, hat trick, stoppage time, underdog, and own goal.
Good memory. And for small talk, we had, did you catch the game? And who are you supporting?
Those two are so useful, honestly, not just for football, for any sport, really.
Exactly. And finally, anything can happen. Simple, but really useful for talking about surprises.
All really natural phrases you can use in real conversations, at work, or with friends.
Okay, let's practice. Let's try a quick back and forth together, like colleagues chatting at work. Ready?
Ready, let's go.
Morning. Did you catch the game last night?
I did, actually. What a match. Went all the way to penalties.
No way. Who were you supporting?
I didn't really mind, I just wanted a good game. But I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Sounds intense. Are you watching the next one?
Definitely. Should be a good one. Could really go either way.
Anything can happen in this tournament, that's for sure.
Exactly. See you at lunch. We can talk more about it then.
Sounds good. See how natural that felt? Just a short, friendly chat, but it uses so many of today's phrases.
Try it with a colleague or a friend this week. It's an easy way to start a conversation.
Okay, so today we talked about the World Cup, some great football vocabulary, and how to make small talk about it at work. Great conversation, Jack.
Really good. So, the key phrases from today: I was on the edge of my seat, the match went down to the wire, and did you catch the game last night?
And remember, the best way to get better is to actually use these phrases. Say them out loud. Practice with a friend. Use them today.
And for today's question, we want to hear from you. Who are you supporting? Leave it in the comments below. We read every single one.
If today's episode helped you, please subscribe, give us a like, and share it with one person who is learning English. That is the best thing you can do for us.
Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next one.
Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.